Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk some more about the change to the neutralize, or according to some, Tigra nerf, which I personally absolutely disagree with. I think it's an intellectually dishonest way how it describes the situation, because to begin with, it doesn't just affect Tigra, it affects Wiccan and Rintra as well. And additionally to that, none of the champions' abilities have changed. In-game mechanic neutralize has changed. And if anything, if you insist on using the word nerf, then I think the neutralize nerf would be even more appropriate. But in reality, nobody's really arguing the fact that neutralize was not working correctly and now it's fixed. The change itself that Kabam made is correct, in my opinion. So if you go to the patch notes real quick, basically they put neutralize more in line with other abilities that reduce ability accuracy reduction, namely concussion. So I do think that is how it should have worked from the beginning. It is very bad that Kabam took such a long time to fix this, but current way of addressing neutralize and classifying it is, in my opinion, the correct thing to do. That being said, as with pretty much everything, Kabam is making this 10 times bigger deal and 10 times worse than they could have and should have done it. This entire community blowback is a direct result of Kabam's unwillingness or inability to address the situation with some sort of form of authority and clarity. And make no mistake, I do think that the outrage in this case is exaggerated. And it doesn't look good. What Kabam doing is shitty. At the same time, people are screaming that, Tigra is useless now, I demand rank down tickets, stuff like that. I don't quite agree with that at all. I think it's relatively minor change. I have a rank 3 Sig 180 Tigra. I still do plan to rank 4 my Tigra. And at the very least, personally speaking, I don't think the change is that big of a deal, even should the worst case scenario come to pass, which is Tigra being unable to apply neutralize when force of will is active. Obviously, Kabam can turn it into a big deal further on in the future by starting to spam this node, but that has to happen first. In reality, if people are worried from Kabam having a kill switch for Tigra, they can easily come up with any node whatsoever and shut down Tigra anyways. It's like virtually every champions have kill switch nodes, and if they don't, Kabam can make them. It's like a case of, I don't know, through strike, through focus, completely shutting down Quake to Mr. Negative and whatnot, and they can just create these nodes to begin with and spam them pretty much everywhere. If you want to stop specific champion, then you can, with a little bit of creativity. And just because the node like that exists already in the game, is not to say that a new node can't be made that specifically, disables Tigra. For instance, they can very easily make a node that says champions are neutralize immune. They can do that. They really can. They spam stun immunity nodes. They spam bleed immunity, poison immunity nodes, whatever immunity nodes. Tell me one good reason why they can't release a neutralize immunity node. Or champions that are immune to neutralize. Can't do that. The biggest problem right now, as with everything else, lies with Kabam. Because right now, whatever they have done basically results in players arguing in between themselves, which in my opinion is completely misdirected effort, attention, anger, whatever else. Every single person in this thread or any other discussion actively discussing impact on Tigra and how it's going to work should actually just come together and ask Kabam for clarification, because that is the problem right now. As of right now, Tigra does not apply neutralize to Archangel and Mysterio. which means Tigra is completely useless in those matchups. Which, again, look at any other champion, virtually any meaningful, decent, good champion have those matchups. Like CGR is completely useless against Dr. Doom or whatever. That in itself isn't the end of the world either. There are a couple of champions that you just absolutely cannot use, champion with. Try using Archangel against any bleed immune, for instance. It's not going to happen. It's a very shit idea. And you're going to have about as much success with Tigra now against Archangel and Mysterio. At the same time, the problem right now kind of lies with we don't know what's happening because you can't apply Neutralize to Mysterio and Archangel, but you can apply Neutralize to Old Man Logan, you can apply Neutralize to Mysterio, you can apply Neutralize to Longshot, and perhaps most importantly, you can apply Neutralize at the moment Force of Will node. Right? Force of Will at the moment is in the middle of this conflict, what everybody's worried about. Everybody's worried if Tigra will not apply Neutralize when Force of Will is active, Kabam is going to spam Force of Will everywhere and anywhere. And again, I personally don't think they will do it, but even if they do it, again, they can spam any node to stop any champion at any given time anyways. Just like I said, instead of Force of Will, they can just give Neutralize immunity to Mini Boss Island, is the way I kind of look at it. If Kabam really wants to nerf, stop, dissuade people from using a specific champion, they can and they will. For ages, they have Ghost-proofed and Quake-proofed a crap ton of content. And if they think Tigra is that big of a threat, they will Tigra-proof a crap ton of content one way or another. At the same time, Ghost and Quake are still insanely useful and amazing champions, and the same thing I think of Tigra. This has not changed my opinion or her worth in my eyes at all whatsoever. The problem with all of these situations, as you can see here, is in the wording as well. Because we don't know whether it's intended or bugged, or whether Kabam is in fact, going to change this in future. Because at the moment, it says defenders immune to ability accuracy reduction from passives and debuffs. But you can apply Neutralize. Obviously, the champions ignore the Neutralize. And then if you look at some of the champions, every single one of them actually utilizes different language. So you take a look at Archangel, and this is a case where you cannot apply Neutralize. It says Archangel's ability accuracy cannot be decreased by opponent's abilities. Straightforward. Okay, but this is category Neutralize doesn't apply. Sounded very, very similar, slightly different. Force of Will, where it does apply. Alright, to make it more interesting, we're going to take it into Mysterio. And this is, again, a problem that Kabam has created for themselves. They have never unified ability description wording, in this case, and many others. Mysterio's ability accuracy cannot be decreased, and he's immune to all poison effects, however, if knocked down, blah, 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 blah. There you go. So here it says his ability accuracy cannot be decreased, like, period. And then we're going to take a look at few champions where he does apply Neutralize. For instance, an Old Man Logan. Where is my Old Man Logan? Here we go. And here we have, you can't teach an old stubborn dog new tricks. Logan's ability accuracy cannot be decreased or increased, for instance. All of these are slightly different, but somehow something in there makes the difference of Neutralize applying or not applying. Or here's an alternate theory. Kabam doesn't know what the hell they're doing and they're randomly spamming what works, what doesn't. I don't know. That is the entire problem, because this entire thing is kind of like up in the air. Ideally, Kabam needs to come out, make a post. This is when Neutralize applies. This is when it doesn't apply. This is what champions it will affect. This is what champions you can place Neutralize on with no effect, so on and so forth. They need to make this clear to the players, and then 90% of the problems here are going to go away, in my opinion. But again, at the same time, I do encourage every player to keep the perspective of, if they want to stop Tigra from being used in specific pieces of content or fights, they will. They can put in Neutralize immunity, they can put in Rupture immunity, they can put in whatever immunities or nodes that hinder that champion anyways. Just because they don't exist in or are not currently being used frequently in the game means nothing. like everybody who is worried about force of will interaction at the moment is pointing out. It's not the fact that Tigra is not going to work on force of will nodes, it's the fact that they are afraid that Kabam is going to start spamming force of will nodes everywhere. Well, here's the trick. Kabam could be starting to spam 20 different nodes that destroy Tigra. And there's nothing we can do about it, really. At the moment, the situation, again, 100% I encourage everybody, no matter where you sit on this subject, stop fighting in between yourselves, and whenever you discuss this subject, direct it at Kabam and ask them for clarification, to explain it's meant to work like this then, you can apply neutralize this time, you can't apply neutralize that time, and this is how it's going to happen. As long as we have a clear set of rules, which we have never had in this game at a larger scale, but on specific situations, we have gotten clarifications in past, most of this problem is going to be resolved. And again, just to reiterate on a personal level, no matter how this situation turns out, no matter how these individual interactions are intended or not intended, I still think Tigra is an insanely amazing champion. I think she has extremely high skill cap. I still want to get better at Tigra. I still want to rank up my Tigra. I still have no desire for a rank down ticket. At the same time, if you disagree, keep it civil, leave it in comment section. But this is kind of like my opinion, my point of view, that all of this is direct fault of Kabam's ineptitude to address problematic situations, which they still haven't. And people have been asking for a week plus. Ever since this patch notes got announced, people immediately asked, how is it going to be? How is it going to look like? And nobody from Kabam answered. And that is the real problem here. Not the fact that they are trying to streamline how neutralize works with the rest of the game. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next month.